Welcome to this week's PSA. My name is Barry Grant Jr. Who are we talking about today?
Oh, really? So you can go on a public platform, denigrate me, make these accusations against me without calling
Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is not happy right now with the NABJ. Why? Because they gave him the thumbs down award. Why did they give him that thumbs down award? Well, let's go ahead and go hear from NABJ themselves.
Stephen A. Smith, sports analyst and political commentator. Smith has established a recurring public pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent black women across politics, sports, and media. Such commentary reinforces harmful narratives, undermines the fair and respectful representation of black women in public discourse, and stands in direct conflict with NABJ's long-standing commitment to accurate, responsible, and inclusive portrayals of black communities.
There you go. So Stephen A. Smith got the thumbs down award from the NABJ just because of the tour de force that he went on in regards to talking about certain black media personalities, female personalities, like from Joy Reid to Michelle Obama to Jasmine Crockett. Like the list goes on. I'm going to go ahead and just deep dive why I think Stephen A. Smith does this. He went to his platform, went to X, talked about how he's going to expose the NABJ and this is Christmas come early, all this shit, right? And instead of him going to some black publication or podcast or news station, or even just a regular news station, you could have went to anywhere. You chose to go to Fox News. And not just anybody, but Sean Hannity, a guy that has always been someone who has disparaged, who has lied, who has said misogynistic things, who is literally a shield for fascism, as well as like a pedo protector. There's so many things and so many egregious things that Sean Hannity does. But the biggest quality that Sean Hannity has to Stephen A. Smith is that that's Stephen A. Smith's daddy. That's where Stephen A. Smith goes to feel like Stephen A. Smith. He feels comfortable around Sean Hannity. He feels comfortable around people on Fox News. You know why he feels comfortable around people on Fox News? Because it's an echo chamber. They can be able to reinforce his narcissism. You're not wrong, Stephen A. Smith. You're not wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. Anytime we get cornered, we get defensive, we go back to a state of mind or a physical state that we feel comfortable with. Stephen A. Smith, every time he feels cornered, goes running right back to daddy. Right back to massa. Yes, sir, boss. Tell me tell me how good I am again, boss. So let's go ahead and go look at the actual footage of him and Sean Hannity, shall we? Roll the footage.
Doesn't this have to do specifically with your criticism of radical people on the left? And you did mention a couple of African-American women at times, Jasmine Crockett, who says nutty things, Joy Reid, who says, in my view, nutty things. Is that what this is about?
I think it is. I don't think there's any question about it, and that's why I spoke out against it, because I think it's utterly ridiculous. I was raised by 5 black women. My mother, God rest her soul, and my 4 older sisters. I have 2 daughters. I have 10 nieces. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I find it highly offensive that they would label me in this way. Give me a thumbs down award specifically for disparaging black women. I pointed to something that they said that I may have disagreed with. That is all. That is all that I have done. And
You
Joy
said
Reid,
about Michelle
her
Obama,
as well.
she could win.
So you see what he said. So here's my takeaways from that quick little clip is that Stephen A. Smith is such a coon that you're gonna have Sean Hannity that has said some wild shit go ahead and go talk about radical black women, and they say some crazy stuff, and he mentioned Joy Reid's name and he mentioned this person's name, and instead of you doing what you're supposed to do in regards to black women in general, is defend them against guys like Sean Hannity, you go ahead and you say what? Yeah, I think that's the case. So again, NABJ literally just gave you the thumbs down award for disparaging black women. You allow a white man on Fox News to be able to do it in front of you, and instead of you challenging him, you yassa boss him. Coon. Biggest raccoon out there. Like, there's so many people out there that are looking at you. I don't give a damn how much money you give to black universities. I don't care about none of that stuff, because at the end of the day, there's a face and there's a closet version of you. That's everybody, right? Does your closet match the front door representation of who you are? You can be able to go ahead and show people this. Oh my goodness, I'm doing all of this philanthropy, bro. I'm doing this. Oh, I had First Take and at NABJ. But what are you doing in the closet? What are you doing in the background? You soft shoeing and tap dancing for dudes like Sean Hannity. You would never appear on somebody's other station. You would never appear on some black woman's station, podcast, news channel, segment, whatever it is, but you'll take your ass to a white man, Sean Hannity, where he can be able to talk about black women. Do you not see that as a fucking problem? And then you do the most outwardly racist shit that anybody can do. It's like when you go ahead and check somebody about them saying something racist about black people, whatever it is. So, oh, well, I have a black friend. I grew up around black people my whole life. So that gives you a pass to be able to say the things you say. So the fact that you were raised by a black woman, you got black sisters, you got black daughters, you got black grandkids, that means that you have the right to be able to talk the way you talk about certain people. When Joy Reid got let go by MSNBC, which is now MS Now, instead of you saying, man, Joy Reid, she gonna get back on her feet, you was like, oh, it's the ratings. It's ratings why you got fired. So, maybe you need to go get better ratings, and maybe you won't go ahead and go get fired. The reason why she got fired is because she was willing to step on certain toes that your coon ass wouldn't do. Because that's something that we're going to talk about in regards to why. There's always a why. Jasmine Crockett, you go ahead and you talk about how, the way she speaks, she needs to go ahead and go watch how she talks about the president and watch how she talks about this. But yet the president goes ahead and calls you low IQ and a stupid person, and you got no smoke for him. You had no reaction to him. You know why? Because we know why. Because you cooned in front of the white man. That's a fact. But why is that? Why is it that you got mouth for black women, for black athletes, but you don't have the same smoke for everybody else? I have not heard you report about all of the lynchings that's going on down south in regards to black kids showing up hanging from ropes. Not one news story have you made about that, but you're going to go ahead and go talk about Zohran Mamdani. You're talking about Hassan Piker. You're talking about all of these other things that the right wing wants you to talk about because you're a useful idiot for them. That's why they like you, is because you're the safe black guy. You're the black guy that's not going to step on anybody's toes. You're the black guy that's not going to go ahead and make any white person feel uncomfortable. That's why you have your job at ESPN. That's why you maintain your job at ESPN. This is why Ryan Clark is no longer there, because Ryan Clark was outspoken and you couldn't save Ryan Clark for getting fired. You know why? Because you're just a useful tool. Oh, I don't want to make sure I upset the masses. They may get me next. So I always ask the why. Why does Stephen A. Smith behave that way? I firmly believe Stephen A. Smith suffers from internal racism. There's a lot of other internal, there's gay people that suffer from internal homophobia due to social constructs, pressure, religion, all of these other things. I believe that Stephen A. Smith suffers from internal racism. Stephen A. Smith internally never wants to upset white people enough to the point where he's afraid. You heard him on the show. Oh, he is coming. Donald Trump is coming. You need to just make sure that you try to do things a certain way so you don't upset him, because that's how he thinks. That's what his internal clock says to him. Don't upset the white people. You got to make sure you know how to move around the white people. Don't upset the masses, because if you do that, then you're going to be in trouble. Joy Reid has no problem with saying what she has to say, no matter who it's to. Jemele Hill, no problem saying what she has to say in front of people, because she's not scared. She doesn't care about what white people have to say. She doesn't care what anybody has to say. She's going to have her opinion. Jasmine Crockett, she's going to go ahead and be the Jasmine Crockett that she's always been. Well-educated, well-spoken, but tough as nails. Michelle Obama, she's going to go ahead and go see what, say what she wants to say and have her opinions and say that, hey, if you vote for Donald Trump, a vote for Donald Trump is a vote for, is a vote for not supporting women. Is she wrong? Taking away Roe v. Wade, taking away all these particular rights that women have. Like, you have black women that 300,000 black women lost their federal jobs. They ripped away DEI. You know who benefited more from DEI more than black people? White women. So again, when stuff is said and you go ahead and you go chug water and go hold the water for masses, because they know that you and Coon Tatum and all Byron Donalds and the rest of you are going to go ahead and go carry their water. They don't even have to do it. They can send you to do it, because guess what? You're the face that can be able to connect to other people. Because when Stephen A. Smith got on to ESPN and he was with Skip Bayless, and they created that debate show, where does your popularity come from? Where does your following come from? Your following comes from the people who looked at you and idolized you when you played sports, when you covered sports, when you were on a debate show. That's where it is. The black faces that support you, that are in your comment section, that support you, that are always cheering you on, that follow you here, that follow you there, that congratulate you when you got the big deal. Black faces. And what you do is you use that currency to be able to now take it over to white programs, or take it over to these programs that don't care about us, because you have internal racism. You believe that no matter what happens, you always have to go protect your neck, no matter who else is going to get in trouble, who else is going to be on the firing squad, in front of the firing squad. Just make sure that you don't get in trouble. We don't want to upset the masses. We don't want to upset the white people. We don't want to upset the president. Raccoon. The very definition of a useful idiot. There's a reason why Jemele Hill, she's not as critical as you. She respects you, and that's cool. There's a reason why Joy Reid. There's a reason why other people, they don't even want to deal with you. They've seen enough. The fact that you can be able to go into politics and know nothing about politics to be able to cover it. That's what they want. They want a useful black face that is out there rambling their stupid talking points that make no sense, that is just a fear-mongering aspect of it. Oh, let the black guy do it. We don't have to do it. Let him carry our water. Stephen A. Smith is a narcissist. That's why he can't reflect or self-reflect to see what he's doing wrong, why his peers voted him this. His peers gave him the thumbs down. This is not fans. His peers did this. And he's hurt by it. So instead of him like reflecting and say, man, like I really need to be a little bit more wide-ranging, objective. Nah, you go right back to where you're comfortable at. Right in front of Daddy Hannity. Because Daddy Hannity is always going to make his little Stephen A. Smith feel like he's 7 feet tall. Oh, those crazy radical black women, they just say crazy stuff, don't they, Stephen? Yes, boss. Crazy, boss, yes. You have no spine. You have no spine to stick up for the people that you should stick up for. And all I'm saying to you is that when they're done with you, where are you going to go? When they're done with you, where are you going to go? So you can continue to donate and do all the stuff that you want to do for HBCUs, great. You can continue to do your philanthropy work and continue to have the front of your store look as nice as possible while you go downstairs and you go ahead and you heist your ass up, you spread cheeks for white America. While people like Ryan Clark and Jamel Hill and Joy Reid, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, you're not black, but she's a woman. All of these other people, all these black, brown, all of these people that have some type of influence and are spreading their voice and are making their presence known. And you are the first one, like an attack dog for the right, with no information, with no nuance. You don't have any idea of what anything is, and you just talk because you think that your goodwill for all the sports stuff that you did is going to continue to carry over. You have exposed yourself over these last few years more than you've ever have before. And you were a coon back then. You were a coon 10 years ago. People just didn't want to really say it, but we saw little pockets of it. Hey, you saw what T.O. said about you when he got up there with you and Max. You think he's the only one that says that? When Skip went to Fox and Shannon Sharp was there and Undisputed was out there being the more entertaining show, what did you start doing? You started having all of these clickbaity, hot take, shock jock type of takes so you would get the attention. Because why? You weren't better than that show. You can have the ratings all you want, but the real culture was watching that show. So again, I ask, when the right is done with you, where are you going to go? Stop posing as if you're a Democrat. You're not. You're a bootlicking Yassa boss self-hating, internal racism having black man. And instead of you having smoke for the person that looks at you like how most white people look at intelligent black men as having low IQ or not capable of doing certain things because they think that your brain capacity is less. I ain't got no smoke for the president. I have nothing bad to say. Okay, cool. You know why? Because you're a coon. Because you do exactly as you're told. They know that you will never get out of hand. They know that you will never go ahead and go buck the system. They know that you will never, ever raise your hand to fight back, no matter how many times they whip you over the back. You're a coward. And that's why the NABJ did what they did. And it's about time that somebody that has that level of platform exposes you for what the fuck you are. Again, I say, there are black kids that are in the South that have been reported as hung, right? Suicides. They're not looking into these things, yet I haven't heard you report about it not one time. Concerning. It might be concerning to everybody else, not to me. So at some point, you have to ask yourself, is this what you want to be? Is this the legacy that you want to leave? Because at the end of the day, you have to know. You can't be this ignorant to not know or oblivious. You are willfully taking the money and you're going home and you're looking yourself in the mirror and you know what you're doing. Everything is performative for you. You can't even take something in stride and be honest with yourself without being performative. Internal racism. You are so designed and so accustomed to not upsetting white people that you go ahead and you just subconsciously disparage your own. Anytime that you have to go ahead and continue to like over explain yourself or keep apologizing. You ever notice that? Something happens, you have to keep apologizing. Why is that? You think people are just asking you to apologize, or you're just taking it upon yourself to apologize? You keep saying offensive shit because it's brainwashed. It's etched into your brain to be able to think that way. You don't think that there were people in the 60s, black people, that didn't want the civil rights movement to happen? Oh, you don't want to upset the white people. No. We don't want to go ahead and do that. Let's not go ahead and go walk on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. It's always useful coons out there. There's always going to be Uncle Toms and Sambos. That's not going to stop. People like you are not going to stop. There'll always be there's always going to be another Stephen A. Smith. But again, I ask, when they're done with you, where do you go? Because if you go ahead and you ruin your stance in the black community, if you keep divulging yourself, and if you keep doing what you're doing, where are you going to go? People don't live on Mars yet. That's all for this PSA. I asked the questions in regards to, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the guy that actually has nuanced takes and even takes, and you criticize this side, you criticize, and anybody who comes after you, you can be able to go ahead and defend yourself? If Donald Trump says something, you should be able to say whatever you want to say. You go on Sean Hannity, he talks about a black woman. You make sure that you go ahead and defend that black woman. No matter if you think that they're right or wrong, you defend first. So again, I ask, when they're done with you, where do you go?
Every win, every loss, every second got a cost to be the boss. Late nights, pressure heavy, never fold. Championship mindset, heart made of purple and gold.